Alright, we're back here at the rack, and basically nothing has changed. I have made no progress since my last video, except one important thing. The workloads that I had running on the file server are off, which means that I can finally upgrade the file server. It's the end of the year. This is December. We're just a few days away from Christmas at this point. So, if I can do one last thing in my home lab, I'm going to feel like I've at least addressed some minimal technical debt. Goal for today is to shut off the XCP-NG server, upgrade TrueNAS, and then hopefully fire XCP-NG back up without any issue. All right, let's go. Thumb drive is like 15 years old, but it has been a workhorse. Like, shout out to Micro Center. Crap, I don't remember what key I need to press for the boot menu. Probably F11. All right, I guessed right. It was F11. I kind of forgot this is my file server. And there's lots of disks, so I have to find the USB drive. Aha! All right, so far so good. Oh no. I just remembered something very sad. One of the disks for the operating system. It died. There's 2 disks for the file system, and only one works. We will see if this ends before it even starts. Alright, install upgrade. Oop. It sees both boot pool disks. They're both the same size. Maybe one of them just got corrupted somehow. Alright, well, we'll select them both and we'll see how this goes. I did not expect this to erase. Just upgrade in place. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to boot back up into the existing TrueNAS installation, and I am going to back up my configuration. And you will join me back here when all that is done. I'm back. The drive letters changed for some reason. Whatever. But configuration is backed up, so this should all be safe to do now. Something changed with their settings. I've done some research, and this is what it's saying, apparently, although this second option is very confusing. This means it's going to create a new user account called TrueNAS_admin. And this means to use the legacy mode, which is just the root account on the system. But when I backed up my configuration, I backed up users. The previous version of TrueNAS that I had been on just had the account admin, no TrueNAS in front of it. So when I restore from my configuration backup, I think what's going to happen is I'm going to have TrueNAS admin from this installation, I'm going to have admin from the previous installation, and I'm going to have root from the installation before that. All right, I'm going to pick this one because that is the recommended option, and then figure it out afterwards. All right, no turning back now. All right, I'm back at my computer, and we'll go ahead and take a look at the installation here. And let's start with, I want to see if it remembers the previous account. So, no. So TrueNAS, TrueNAS_admin. It did not remember the user account. It should see my previous storage pools. Uh-oh. Well, let's restore from backup and see what it remembers after that. So that's probably going to be down here in system, general settings. So I thought there would be an upload config option somewhere here. Before it was up here, just above where add license is now. So let's go back to system, and maybe it's under advanced. This does not seem like an advanced option to me to restore a backup, but manage configuration. This is what was there before, to my recollection. Upload file, here we go. Choose file. Off screen here, I will find TrueNAS Scale .tar. All right, open. And upload. And I'll bring you back when this is done, because this is taking a minute. All right, web console disappeared and this popped up. I don't know if the entire server is rebooting or if just the UI service is rebooting. So I'm gonna walk downstairs to the rack, see what's on the screen, and I'll be right back. All right, I did indeed confirm that the computer is rebooting. Last I saw, it was still on the HBA card detection. There's 3 cards in there, so it takes an extra minute. Hey, all right, now let's test my theory. That also restored the admin account, which would be vaguely annoying. Yes, it did. That is, in fact, vaguely annoying. But that also means that my individual user account is also restored, which is great news. So first things first, let's go over to storage. Yes, we see our storage. And you'll see why I wanted to update, because this means that I should be able to add new disks into the existing pool, because that was one of the features added with this version of, well, strictly speaking, it was added to ZFS, I think, but TrueNAS now has it because it was added to the Linux version of ZFS. A little pedantic there. All right, out of the gate, I'm seeing one quality of life improvement. The old storage pool is on an older version of ZFS. And it used to be that you'd have to SSH to the server and type some command in to upgrade the ZFS version on the disk. And I mean the partition format, not the actual version of ZFS. The software ZFS can be newer than the partition format ZFS. Anyway, but quality of life improvement, I can do that right here. So let's do that. Yes, I'm good with that. I will take that risk. Great. And now I can expand it. Look at that. That's great. I'm so excited to be able to expand this pool. I can't tell you. All right. But before we start doing anything about trying to expand the existing pool that is mostly full, I need to go make sure that my hypervisor still works. So we're going to go back downstairs to the rack. We're going to power on the XCPNG rig. We're going to make sure it still has access to everything that it needs access to, which is NFS storage. And I disabled iSCSI. If you want to hear the story about why I disabled iSCSI, comment down below. Tell me the iSCSI story. Because that was a bad day. That was a bad day to Homelab. All right, I'll meet you back downstairs. All right, back at the rack. Let's get this guy on. There it is. Oop. Oh, 2 is now on. All right, we're back. And I have a bad feeling. The reason why I have a bad feeling is this took way too long to boot up. So, the first thing to check is to see if we have access to the NFS storage. And my money is on no. Current storage repositories. Yeah, so NFS ISO library, that's where I keep all my ISOs. And this very annoying red on pink text. It could just be that this display is crap. So maybe this color combination's not reality, but this very annoying red on pink text says that the storage repository is offline. To help with troubleshooting, there is one VM I keep on local storage. and it's one you should always keep on local storage. Ask me how I know. You need to go to virtual machines, all VMs, to XOA built, which is the remote management software over the web for XCP&G. So I'm going to get that fired up, and then we can do some more troubleshooting. I lost some footage there. So let's bring you up to speed. I went to TrueNAS and I restarted the NFS service by going to System, Services, toggling this off, then toggling it back on. Oh, this is the screen that you just saw us at with the NFS session. Nothing was here. I've tried reattaching the NFS ISO library a couple of times. That didn't work. And then another troubleshooting step that I took was I had gone to shares, and I went to the appropriate NFS share here, hit edit, and I made sure that all of the IP addresses that I care to export are exported, this being the critical one currently. So let's go to hosts. The IP address here is correct. Let's look at storages again. It will be this one, this default one. And if this doesn't reconnect, then I don't know what's going on. What is going on? SR backend failure, NFS mount. Okay, this is the most helpful error I've seen yet. I wonder if this is using NFS v3, because it looked like TrueNAS only supports NFS v4, or maybe the v4 that I saw was only on Zen. Right now, my leading theory is that one of these is on v4 of NFS and one of them is on v3. Let's go back to the new storage type. NFS does not let me pick the version. And let's go over to here. Let's check the service. Click at it. Enable protocols, NFS v3. Let's do NFS v4. Oh, yeah, save. Now let's try to mount it again. I don't think this is going to change anything, but we're going to find out together. All right, so let's try to reconnect. Oh, ha. All right. Damn you, NFS v3. Okay. Let's go back to our storages. Yeah, this is the important one. It's a nice handy button right there. All right. Hey, now I can go back and reboot all the things in theory. So let's go to VMs, and I'm going to fire up my wife's Kubernetes server. Hey, cool. And with that back up, do I go whole hog and just reboot all the things? Sure, it'll be fine. Let's fire these up. So I think I'm in good shape here again. And the next thing on my list is to pull out a hard drive and try to add it to TrueNAS. Hi, Tom. Let's check out my exciting new feature. All right, let's go back to storage. Tank. Let's view the VDEV maybe. We'll look at this. All right, extend. Oh, new disk. The one new disk. Extend. All right, well, this is clearly going to take some time, so I'm going to think about its life choices while I go eat lunch. All right, so I went and had lunch. I did some errands. You can tell because I'm wearing a hat now. And I got back and I was still stuck at 25%. So I did a little research And I found out that this process can take several hours to several days. So yeah, I'm going to leave this video here for now, I guess. But so far so good. Nothing's been going wrong. So I'll let this pull data attach process continue to run. And we will follow up again once I have all these new drives added. Now, I do want to leave you with one quick note before I fully end the video. And that quick note is that there is a tiny gotcha with adding drives to an existing ZFS pool. And if I'm slightly wrong on this, please leave a comment down below. If I'm right about this, please confirm again in the comments. But my understanding is that when you attach a new disk to an existing pool, you're not going to have any data on that disk. New files added to the pool will end up partially on that disk, but existing files will not. Now, for my purposes, that's fine. For the most part, I don't really care about performance. Everything's going to be bottlenecked for the most part through a 1 gig link anyway. So having everything spread out across all disks is not going to render a performance improvement for me, so it's not worth addressing. But my understanding is, if you do want to address that problem, you have to first copy the files to a new directory, remove the original file, and then move or copy the file back. And that should spread the data across all disks. So just know that. Again, if you know better than me, please leave a comment down below. And that'll do it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. You'll see me in the next one.